Hello everyone, my name is Quackney, and I'm here to ask and answer one question. Can you beat Skyrim while changing equipment after every kill? This suggestion comes from a YouTube commenter, Cesario the Neko Knight Plays All. Thank you, Cesario the Neko Knight Plays All, and the rules for this run are as follows. Anytime I kill something, all of my current equipment, weapons, and armor can no longer be used for the rest of the run. No spells that deal damage or provide armor are allowed. Fists can be used at any time. I chose to allow fists to prevent situations where I kill an enemy that has no weapon for me to take, like a mud crab. This saves me the time of having to stock weapons or running to the shop to buy something to fight with only once. Some other additional information, I will be playing on the Adept difficulty on the PC version of Skyrim Anniversary Edition with all DLC and 2 mods this time. The mods I will be using are Sky UI and Use or Take SKSC. The purpose of these 2 mods is mostly for convenience. Sky UI reimagines the user interface for Skyrim, but it also adds some functionality for the inventory, like being able to create custom sets of gear that you can equip with the press of a single button. I'll be using this feature to equip a set of empty gear that will essentially unequip all my armor and weapons just by pressing my F1 key. This will save me from having to open my inventory and unequipping everything manually every time I kill something. The second mod, Use or Take SKSE, allows me to hold shift while looking at an item to use or equip that item. So if it's food or a potion, I can hold shift and then use the item, eating or drinking it immediately without having to go into my inventory. I can also do the same with weapons and armor. I can hold shift on weapons or armor lying on the ground, or if I'm looting a body, I can quickly equip them to me. Again, just another mod of convenience so that I don't have to open the inventory as much. With all that established, let's get on with the run. I choose Khajiit as my race for 2 reasons. 1, it's my favorite. 2, I know I can't really go any for a specific build in this run because there's no guarantee of what gear I will have at any given time. So I thought the extra unarmed damage would come in handy, and it most certainly did. To name myself this time around, I decided to make a wish to Todd Howard for a feature I want to see in Elder Scrolls 6. Please, Todd. It's all I want. It's all I need. And only you can make it happen. There will be mods. There's no stopping it. So you might as well just put it in the game. Help a brother out, Todd. Come on. After making my wish, I finish up character creation and go through the opening as normal, almost getting my head cut off, only to be saved by Alduin himself. Then I race up the tower to jump through the hole that Alduin makes. To jump through the hole Alduin makes. Well, how am I supposed to do that, Rayloff? Alright. Let's try that again. Second time around, the script doesn't break and Alduin busts through the window, and I jump on his back and then to the tavern. I just ran through the rest of the city as it burned, so there's no need to show that, but I do decide to go with Rayloff to escape Helgen. I then go through my settings and set up a favorite group in Sky UI and set it to unequip armor and weapons, but then leave it empty. Now, when I press the F1 key to select this favorite group, it unequips all my gear and equips nothing. I'll be using this keybind anytime I kill something for the remainder of the run. Starting with this Imperial soldier. Then I finish off the captain with my claws. And this is why Use or Take SKSE was such a good choice. I can just loot the bodies of my enemies and put on their gear automatically without much fuss. For the rest of my escape through Helgen, I mostly use my fists to take out all the Imperials and the Frostbite spiders. And I think because I'm such a low level and have no points into any of these weapon types, my fists are actually dealing more damage than most of the weapons. I cheese some stealth XP from Rayloff when I get to the bear to get some levels for more health. Since I can't focus on any particular skill, I just put what points I can into all weapon and armor types so that no matter what I'm using, it's going to be as strong as it's going to get, which isn't very strong as most of these skills won't be going beyond level 40 or so. I don't power level myself anything crazy, I just get 7 levels and dump everything into HP, then I kill that bear, and now it's time to get out of the cave. My first stop is at the Riverwood Trader to get the quest for the Golden Claw and decide to do this first thing. I kill some bandits on the way there and take their gear, but it doesn't last long as I lose it all before even getting up the steps of Bleak Falls Barrow. I find a fireball scroll and use it against the giant frostbite spider, meaning I can't use another one of those again, but it's fine because I don't think I even find one again. In fact, I think it's the only scroll I use in the entire run, outside of the Elder Scroll, of course. But I hardly needed it as my fist proved more than enough to pummel the spider to death, and Arvel the Swift catches his hands quickly after. Later on, I fight some Draugr and immediately get Bone Break Fever. Cool. The Draugr Overlord proves to be no match for my martial arts, and I get the Dragonstone and a decent enchanted weapon from his body. I then return the Golden Claw to the Riverwood Trader, and I don't remember why, but then I kill Camilla and Lucan and then loot the shop. After my temper tantrum, I go see Jarl Bolgarth, give Farengar the Dragonstone, and join the fight against the dragon nearby. I basically don't have any gear at this point, so this will be interesting. At least I have some NPCs to help me out. I do my best to follow him around and attack him as soon as he lands, trying to get him below half HP so he doesn't keep flying off, but this was easier said than done as he kept hovering in the air and breathing fire down on us. But eventually we prevail and the dragon is slain and his soul is consumed. Yum. He also had some guard armor on him, so that will come in handy. I return to the Jarl to continue the main story, and now it's off to the Greybeards. I steal a horse from the stables outside Whiterun to make this task easier. I had enough money to buy one, but I kind of wanted to keep the money just in case I had to buy some gear later on. Alright. Slowly. Alright. Yeah. It happens to the best of us. It happens to the best of us. Am I dead? Am I alive? Am I gonna get up? Am I alive? Well, eventually, I make it to the top of High Hrothgar and I meet the Greybeards. They teach me some words of power, and I take off to get the horn of Jorgen Windcaller. I steal some mammoth cheese on the way there, which displeases some giants, but they can't catch me. When I make it to the cave, I punch my way through some mages, and surprise, surprise, the horn is missing. In its place, I find a note. I follow the note's instructions and go meet Delphine, a member of the Blades. In her secret basement, I find some decent weapons and some potions which I hold onto for tougher enemies. She enlists my help in investigating an old dragon burial site, and I drop some gear that I've used on the floor because I've decided I'm not allowed to sell these items after I've used them. Before helping Delphine, I return to the Greybeards and give them the horn. I learn another word of power, and then they take turns yelling at me, probably for being naked all the time. I don't know. I don't speak Dova. Now it's off to that dragon burial site. Luckily, I find a dead Stormcloak soldier and get some gear for the upcoming dragon fight. Speaking of, I waste no time, and I just run up there and start laying into the overgrown lizard as soon as he spawns in, instead of waiting for Alduin to inevitably spot me. I have to use a couple of my potions and my best weapon, but I do kill the dragon without much difficulty. After our victory, we return to Delphine's hideout and make our next plans to infiltrate the Thalmor embassy. I take a ride to Solitude and meet up with Delphine's inside man, Malborn. He can sneak in any gear I need, but seeing as how I don't have any, I don't give him anything. Then I go to Delphine to get my invitation, some fancy clothes, and I make my way to the party. I cause a distraction and then sneak in the back with Malborn. I couldn't be bothered to sneak around, so I try and get one sneak strike in before going apeshit. It doesn't really go well, as I realize I'm doing basically no damage with this dagger. So I switch to my fist and I start throwing hands. And it's a good thing I raided the kitchen for all its food, because I needed it. Some of these Thalmor wizards, however, admittedly pissed me off, but I did eventually get my vengeance. After all is said and done, I make my way to the basement and find the Thalmor dossier on Esbern. Escaping through the cave with the frost troll was pretty tough, but eventually I came up with a great idea. Just let Malborn handle it. He's got this. With Malborn left for dead, I return to Delphine and we make plans to find Esbern in the Ratways of Riften. I make my way there immediately and kill some homeless guys in the sewer, but they started it. I'm embarrassed how close this fight was. But I find Esbern and I convince him to come with me. Fighting our way out was easy enough, definitely still not being absolutely shredded by mages. Together, we make it back to Delphine. I drop some more garbage on the floor, and then we make plans to find Alduin's wall, which tells the story of how Alduin was originally defeated long ago. So, I go in a cave, punch some Forsworn, and practice my Naruto run. I then make a blood sacrifice in hopes that my wish for sexy cat girls in Elder Scrolls 6 comes true. I hate this part of the main story. You can't wait and skip time for the NPCs to move quicker. They just have to slowly walk through and light each fire before telling you about Alduin's wall. It's really not that big of a deal, but once you do it once, it's just kind of like waiting around to hear the same thing over and over again. And I hate it. I hate it a lot. After learning about the Dragon Ren shout, I make my way to the Greybeards to learn what I can from them, but I'm told I must climb to the throat of the world and meet their leader. Arengard teaches me a shout to clear the weather, and I get toasty in a fire. At the top of the mountain, I meet Parthenax, the leader of the Greybeards. If you hadn't noticed, he's a dragon. I ask him about Dragon Ren, but he tells me that this shell was created by humans, so his lizard brain can't even comprehend the words. But he does tell me I could probably travel back in time with an Elder Scroll and learn it that way. Now I just have to find an Elder Scroll. Finding one is actually easier than you might think. I go to the College of Winterhold and speak to his librarian for my first clue. He shows me a book, but I can't read it, so I decide to go ask the author himself. A short swim later, I find him in a cave. He tells me the place I seek is Blackreach, accessible through a Dwemer ruin. Yeah, everyone loves Dwemer ruins, right? So fun. Look at these pipes and the pipes, and look, an incline. Look at this. There's an incline and a dead guy. Look at that. Oh my. Oh, and some Falmer. This is just. Look at the more Falmer. There's just so much. Oh my gosh. It's Blackreach. Look at how cool it is. Look at the colors, the mushrooms, the Dwemer bullshit everywhere. I can't wait to have an extended adventure down here. Hours. I'm talking hours of adventure. Give me that shit. Fuck Dwemer ruins. Fuck Blackreach. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Knowing a fight with Alduin waits for me after using the scroll, I travel to Whiterun and buy myself a suit of armor from the blacksmith so that I'm not totally defenseless. Luckily, I already have a decent weapon. After my slight shopping detour, I go read the Elder Scroll and travel back in time to see Alduin defeated for the first time, learning the Dragon Ren shout in the process. After returning to the present, I put on my armor and use my best weapon and take on the World Eater. As you can see, I'm not doing much damage here, so I use weapon bashing to interrupt him as much as I can to avoid damage, because my armor isn't really doing much either, but at least it's something. I use up most of my potions and apply some poisons to try and up my damage as much as possible. However, in a moment of confusion, I use this poison on Parthenax. Whoops. My bad. The battle continues for some time as I do my best to bash Alduin anytime he uses his breath. I just need to get him below 50% HP so that the fight will become a lot easier. And it better happen soon, because I just used the rest of my HP potions. But unfortunately, he keeps flying off into the sky and raining meteors down on me while I run around in circles, trying not to get hit, with varying levels of success. Eventually, however, I do get him below half HP, and Parthenax and I take turns staggering him. I use up most of my stamina potions here to be able to continue bashing him. But, on my first try, I defeat Alduin. And technically, I don't kill him here, so I just put away my weapons and armor, and hope to use them later when I fight him in Sovngarde. To prep for this fight, I head to Whiterun again, and stop by the apothecary and buy some potions. I sell everything I don't need at this point, so that I can get as many as I can. Now I need Jarl Bolgraf's help to capture a dragon, but he won't help me unless I can guarantee that the Stormcloaks won't attack during this ordeal. So I talk the Greybeards into hosting a peace council at their place. I visit Ulfric and Tullius and invite them both to High Hrothgar. I don't really care how the peace council goes, so I just choose random dialogue until it's over. I do kick the Thalmor out though, because fuck 'em. Temporary peace achieved, I head back to Whiterun to capture this dragon. Oh look, there he is. And there he goes. Somehow I can loot this guard from just a shield, but I need his stuff, so I won't complain. Odahviing walks right into our trap, and despite it totally missing him here, he just slides right on over to fit in. After a short talk, he agrees to take me to Alduin's portal to Sovngarde. When I arrive, there are many Draugr and dragons, none of which I have the resources to fight, so I run past as many as I can. Until I make it inside, where I find it difficult to do door puzzles and run away from Draugr, and survive at least, so I'm forced to fight them off. They're, however, pretty tough. So I grab attention of a few of them and then lead them away to take them on just a couple at a time, waiting for 1 hour after they die to heal. After all that, I make it to the top of where the portal is. I don't know why, but I thought you had to kill the dragon priest to open the portal, so I spent a while getting my ass kicked here before just running past them absentmindedly and then just going through the portal on accident. I could just walk into it? Dude, oh my god. Ugh. Now it's time to fight soon to prove my worth. After getting my ass kicked a few times, I realized, like my previous fight with Halloween, I don't kill soon here, so I equip my gear and I fight him again, winning this time around. Barely. Once inside the halls, I recruit heroes of old and head back out to fight Alduin. With our powers combined, we shout away the weather and force out the big lizard. Still not really doing much damage here, but having more allies on my side makes this fight quite a bit easier as he spends more time fighting them rather than me. But by my hand, Alduin dies, for good this time. And with that, the game is over, and I can finally answer the question. Can you beat Skyrim while changing equipment after every kill? Yes. As you can. Not a bad run, honestly. It was a bit tough at times because I was such a low level on the account of not really being able to level up any particular skill very effectively, but I made it work. On another note, sorry this video took so long to make. For those of you who don't tune into my live streams here on YouTube, which is most of you, I work at a wholesale warehouse retailer, the kind you can buy a giant, cheap rotisserie chicken and a TV at the same place. Anyway, the holiday season gets incredibly busy, and my already physically demanding and tiring job becomes even more demanding and tiring. So for the past couple months, I didn't really have the energy to do much of anything outside of work. But the holiday season's over now, so I hope to get back to my regular schedule of 1 or 2 videos a month. It feels good to be back, and hopefully it won't be long before I upload again. My next run will be in Oblivion. Haven't played that one in a long time, so it'll be nice to get back to it. I also plan on checking out Avowed, Obsidian's new RPG, coming out later in February, so if you care, be on the lookout for the live stream. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to leave a thumbs up, and if you want to see more, subscribe. Check out our Discord in the description, leave a comment below for what challenge run you'd like to see next, and with that, I'll see you next time.